Let's turn now to Marc Ganis in New York. He's president and co-founder of Jiaflix, a company which bridges Western entertainment studios and the Chinese market. So Marc, let's start with Ninja. Were you surprised by its success with moviegoers? What do you think touched them the most?
Well, it was the runaway hit of the summer. It had some advantages. There was the movie 800 that was supposed to come out and be a big blockbuster that was not released this summer, so it had more runway. But the great thing about Naja is that it was put into IMAX and 3D and became almost a theme park for parents to be able to take their kids and for people to go enjoy during the hot days of the summer indoors. It was an immersive entertainment experience. And I will tell you, one of the big things that happened with this movie was this was not rushed. It was 3 years plus of production. People don't generally understand, but animation movies, you take some of the big Disney animation movies, are often 5 and 7 years in production before they come out. They take a very long time to do if it's going to be done well. And the producers of Naja did this very well.
You know, a lot of people had something to say about the storyline, but you mentioned there the quality, the time it took to make this film. What can you say about the improvements in the quality of the animation and as you mentioned, the IMAX, that sort of thing?
Right. The quality of the animation in China is increasing steadily. It still has quite a ways to go to match up with the top Hollywood studios, but the rate of increase has been of improvement has been growing, and the fact that the producers were willing to give it that much runway, that much time, so that they didn't rush it to the theaters, that makes a big difference. The producers have got to be willing to take the 3 years, 4 years it takes so that it's done properly and done right. They had a great story, and they didn't spend the money on an area that is really not as great a place to spend money on these days, which are the big, high-paid actors and actresses. The people in China, the moviegoers in China, want great stories. They want them produced really well, and then they will come into the movie theaters and pay their money to watch them.
So I got to ask you about The Wandering Earth, which landed on Netflix for mass consumption. What are your thoughts about that collaboration?
Well, I think we're going to see more collaborations like that. It's one of what I expect will be many. Netflix in particular has been very active in doing collaborations in non-English language movies around the world. I think we're going to see many, many more with Netflix. I expect we'll see some with the new Disney Plus over the top. That's really a trend, and I think we're going to see many more movies done in Chinese primarily in partnership with the big streaming companies.
Do you think the country's slowing economy has had any impact at the box office at all in China? And are there any other challenges that the movie industry is facing at the moment?
The economy has not had an adverse impact on the box office in China this year so far. You know, when things are tight, people still go to see movies. They may not travel as much, they may not buy as many consumer products, but they still want the entertainment, especially during the summer, and so they still are going to the movies. So there's not been an adverse impact there. For the future, I think we're seeing a trend, and interestingly, it's a trend we're seeing in the West also. The big budget actor, actress-driven vehicle just doesn't do as well as those movies where there's a great story, story that is compelling and touches audiences, that is produced really well. Whether that's animation, or it's a lovely character-driven story, or it's a travel or a Friends type movie. We're seeing that it's the story and the quality of the production that is drawing the audiences, not just the big name, in many cases overpaid actors and actresses.
Great insight, Marc Ganis in New York. Thank you so much.